want to put him in jail. They want to lock him up for the hateful speech that he is exercising to put the messaging on this wall. It's unbelievable. If this man is going to jail, I will certainly be getting the electric chair or a lethal injection of some sort. I am not looking forward to that. You are tuning into Disgruntled USA on Excluded Media. We are here at the 34th Street graffiti wall in Gainesville, Florida, watching as a hardcore MAGA American patriot paints a bunch of pro-Trump, pro-wall messaging on this wall. Got a loud minority of Antifa socialists, feminists, who basically want to come out here and put their anarchy signs, their pro-abortion signs. They want to appropriate Martin Luther King, as liberals always like to do. All right, we are here with Kyle, whose last name we are not going to mention. He's been harassed, he's been lambasted, he's been lampooned by the Antifa of Gainesville, the socialists of Gainesville. He is the mastermind behind the pro-Trump messaging on the Gainesville graffiti wall.
Feels great to get out here in the real world since they're trying to always censor us online. So I see if I get out here in the real world, they can't censor the real world. And if I put it online, other people will spread the message because it's something real that isn't just a typed up word.
The messaging on this mural basically says, we welcome legal immigrants. We welcome people to come into this country. All that we ask that you do is announce yourself, knock on the front door, and introduce yourselves to us so that we can vet you and let you in personally. Why do people think that this is such a terrible, awful, racist, bigoted, hateful thing to say?
Pretty much they're putting all that on Trump. They consider him racist because they've misconstrued, especially the media's misconstrued, so then people take the misconstrued media, the hoax of the media, and then that fake news becomes their reality, and that anything that's supporting Trump or supporting his policies is now, you know, racist, sexist, homophobic, all that. You know, we just want legal immigrants. You to introduce yourself. These are all the other countries around the world with walls. They're not racist. We got the Vatican that has had walls forever, and they're preaching that we shouldn't have nationalism, that we shouldn't have walls, and yet they have, you know, incredibly high walls, 30-foot plus walls at the Vatican.
It's amazing how walls work in other countries, and liberals are okay with walls that are built in other countries, even to the point of us giving our hard-earned money to these other countries to help them build their walls. But when it comes to a wall here in America to support and protect American citizens, it's racist, it's bigoted, it's hateful.
Yeah, they had a pro-abortion message on there 2 weeks ago we covered up. It was celebrating Roe versus Wade. So they're celebrating death of millions of babies on the wall. That's perfectly acceptable, not touched for days. And then when we put up something that within 24 hours, they're going to take it down because it's pro-American, America First policy, pro-wall, any of these things they're just against. Even pointing out simple things of other countries with walls. I mean, that's just, these are facts.
So as we can see, all of the pro-Trump messages that have been put on this Gainesville graffiti wall on 34th Street, it's totally poignant, a totally poignant response to the pro-Trump messages, the pro-American messages such as build a wall, protect our country, protect our borders, protect our economy.
I have a message for President Trump. Mr. President, I will paint your wall for you. If you build a wall all the way from California all the way to Texas, I will paint your wall for you. I will paint it.
Well, we've got people all around the world who are donating their hard-earned money so that Trump can get this wall done. When liberals say, oh, it's going to be too expensive, with the amount of money that President Obama paid to the Islamic Republic of Iran, we could make 20 walls, okay? And here we have volunteers basically willing to build the wall and paint the wall to make it beautiful. A big, beautiful wall with a big, beautiful door for legal immigrants is what we want here. Now, explain to us, why do you think it is that Antifa and anti-capitalists find it necessary to just scribble over your messaging?
Because they just want to censor out our freedom of speech. That's basically what Venezuela does. That's what China does. Any communist or socialist nation, they censor. They censor freedom of speech.
This is pretty much the most substantive response to our Trump-supporting friends. Eat the rich, anarchism symbols, Antifa symbols. Unfortunately, without rich people, they probably wouldn't have been able to get their hands on any of the paint with which they use to promote their message of anarchy and anti-capitalism. This is just one of the many contradictions that you'll find among Antifa folk among anti-capitalists and the like, you will find that these Antifa and anarchist folks use the prosperity that has been developed here in America in order to fight America. What has been the reaction from Gainesville, Antifa, and socialists to you personally?
Yeah, it's been nothing but harassment. I made a mistake, put my phone number on our local page, and then other people shared that to other groups, so therefore it ended up being spread to Antifa. They got a hold of it. They went ahead, put my number on Craigslist in New York and Florida for a boat for free household items. So people are hitting up my phone. I've got over 100 messages either from Craigslist or harassment by Antifa members committing fraud, saying that they're Gainesville City, that I need a permit and I need to PayPal them $500 to paint on this wall, intimidate me from putting my message even up here if I can't afford it. I got one person that sent me a message of a picture of Hitler blowing his brains out saying, oh yeah, you know, you should do the same. So these people are very hateful when all we're doing is promoting America for all Americans of all races, of all backgrounds.
And I would say also that it goes to show that the violent urges of the left. They've got to send you a picture of Hitler blowing his brains out and say that you should do the same thing. They got to punch a Nazi. Figurine of Trump with a pencil in his butt. Okay, this is the violent tendencies of the left. Let's talk a little bit about some of the responses, some of the rebuttal posts, I guess you could say, on that the Antifa, that the socialists, the feminists of Gainesville have put on top of your pro-Trump, pro-wall messaging.
They have no intellectual discourse whatsoever, except when it comes to threats. They love to intellectually discuss how they would like to threaten me and how I shouldn't show up here because, you know, it's not a very good idea, not very safe, things like that. I saw your Facebook group post. Probably not very safe out there. You probably shouldn't show up. Just intimidation, threatening from dozens of people.
Right. Well, violence is the only language that these Antifa folks speak. Of course, they don't have any arguments. They don't have any substance in what they say. So they scribble on top of these pro-Trump, pro-wall messaging with no substantive rebuttal, no rebuttal of any sort of facts, because obviously facts are not on their side. I would say that this is sort of a metaphor for the way the left works as an entire group. What the left likes to do is they like to deconstruct things. They like to tear things down. That's what critical theory is all about. That's what critical race theory is all about. It's about deconstructing all the structures, the societal structures that allegedly oppress us. But what do they have to replace it with? Scribbles. Nothing. They've got nothing to replace it with.
Someone here locally will try to take a little snippet of part of the wall and try to represent it as racist or something, even though it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with America first, make America great again, security, sovereignty. Without a wall, we don't have a country.
Unfortunately, a lot of these toxic ideas are becoming mainstream to the point where now it's determining our policy in this country. All right, we are out here the morning after. It didn't take more than 24 hours for the Oompa Loompas in Antifa, the socialists, the feminists of Gainesville, to come out and spread their word of peace.
Oompa Loompa, Doompa-dee-doo, I've got a perfect puzzle for you.
All right, as we've seen, they can't even be bothered to make an argument against the posts that were put up on this wall. They can't even be bothered to make a poignant statement that rebukes or rebuts some of the things that were up on the wall before. They come out here with their violence against conservatives, violence against Trump supporters, with no cogent rebuttal whatsoever. They just paint over it, and they think they're doing yeoman's work. They think they are making the world a better place. Let me tell you something, Antifa. You lose. You're not making the world a better place. We're actually here laughing at you about how intellectually stale and stagnant and vacant you are. F Trump. Totally peaceful, right? We've got MAGA boy equals maggot. Okay, we got some kind words there from Antifa. And of course, the one thing that they left, the one man they left standing, was Martin Luther King Jr., who ironically is a conservative, Republican, God-fearing American who loved this country very, very much. All of the messaging of Antifa and socialism and feminism actually goes against Martin Luther King, but that's the kind of contradictions that you see when you talk to a leftist. They can hold two completely contradictory things at one time. Give us your tired poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, yearning to enjoy the American dream. But these people don't even believe in the American dream.